Good morning, students, and hurry back to our class. Today, we are going to read a poem written by William Ernest Henley. The name of the poem is Invictus. It's a Latin word for unconquerable, invincible, undefeated. The theme of the poem is to find the strength to overcome problems and difficulties. Students, William Ernest Henley was born in 1849 and died in 1903, was a famous poet, critic and editor of the late Victorian era in England. He suffered a tubercular infection when he was in his early 20s. This resulted in an amputation of leg below the knee. Henley was in great pain for 20 months and he wrote Invictus and other poems during this period. Students, even in his sufferings, he does not give up. So he gives thanks for his unconquerable soul. Come on, let's listen to
Almost
this poem.
150 years ago, in 1875, the late Victorian poet William Ernest Henley, born in Gloucester, England, wrote the following while suffering from recurring illness. The poem has ever since inspired courage and strength in hearts. Invictus by William Ernest Henley. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul.
Students, the poet begins the poem by coming out of the night that covers him. The night is as black as the pit of hell and seems to fill the whole world from the North Pole to the South Pole. The night represents the dark times or the hardship that the poet has had to go through. He thanks whatever gods that may exist for his unconquerable soul. Although there is darkness or hardship all around him, the speaker feels grateful to any gods that might have existed for his brave spirits that cannot be defeated.
In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeoning of chance, my head is bloody, but unbowed.
Students, here the poet tells us that when he was in the wicked clutch of circumstances, he did not wince, means made a shrieking movement of the body out of pain or distress, or cry out loud. He compares his past suffering to being trapped in a giant fist. But although such circumstances were harsh, he was strong enough to make it through without crying. After the bludgeoning means beating done with thick stick or any heavy object. So he says he faced the violent attacks and did not submit or bow down.
Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid.
Students, the poet now looks beyond the present, full of anger and tears. However, in the future looms the horror of death. Death hangs over the future like a terrifying shade or shadow. But the poet says that death, the menace of years, or any kind of difficulties that lay ahead, shall find him unafraid. So he is not fearful of the shadow of death that no human can avoid. The difficult times that he has been through and the strength of his own soul has prepared him to face future difficulties and death without fear.
It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
Students, in the end, the poet says that it doesn't matter how straight the gate or narrow the path that he must follow in his life becomes. This means that the poet is not bothered by the difficult situations he will have to face. He does not care how full of punishment the scroll or the book of fate controlling his life might be. He is unbothered by these things because he believes that he is the master of his fate and captain of his soul. Means he is now not afraid of anything because his soul is taking charge of everything and he controls the course of his own life.
Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the madness of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate, I am the captain of my soul.
Student, the poet teaches us the importance of inner strength. He inspires us to take charge of our own lives and shape our own fate.
In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the madness of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate, I am the captain of my soul.
Students, the poetic device used by the poet is metaphor, the pointless suffering brought on by the tragedy in the speaker's life and his inability to see an end to his predicament are compared to the darkness of the night. Darkness also becomes the metaphor for shadow of death and the terror it holds as he grows older. Shade is a metaphor for death. Then hyperbole, his present suffering is exaggerated as the darkness that extends from the North Pole to the South Pole. Then personification, his present circumstance are personified as a monster holding him in its clutches and accidental situation as a bully trying to beat him up into submission. The rhyme scheme used is ABAB and alliteration. The poet uses consonant repetition, that is pit from pole to pole, clutch of circumstances, cried not, nor bulging, bloody but bowed. So now students hurry up and do the book exercises. I have already shared the answers. These questions, read these lines from the poem and answer these questions. And answer these questions. A, B, C section. All are done in this video. So hurry up, complete your work, and don't forget to learn all this. Reading, writing, learning is very, very important. So study regularly with me every day. Till then, love you. Bye.